BBC News School Report. Later in the programme, we are delighted to bring you an interview with the Home Secretary Theresa May on being an MP. But first, some news from Maidenhead.
Every year, the humble groundhog helps predict the forecast in America. Now it seems Maidenhead has found its own answer. A pair of chickens who lay snowy and sunny eggs depending on the weather. Proud mother of two, Sasha Anderson, 30, from White Waltham, says her birds Sophie and Rosie can produce a feather forecast based on the look of their eggs. Last week, she found a speckled white egg at her coop in North Town Moor, Maidenhead, on the same day that the snow fell. Back in August, she found 2 eggs with outlines of the sun indented on them on what then turned out to be 2 sunny days. It was just magical, said the 30-year-old PA, who is not sure which chicken has the talent and which one is simply riding along for the glory. It was the second time they had matched the weather.
An award scheme for young artists has been launched by Clares Court Schools in Maidenhead. The Youth Creative Award aims to encourage creative young people to develop their potential as artists. Those who achieve the award can use their portfolio to apply for a full art scholarship for entry into the Clares Court Schools secondary and sixth form phases. The award is open to all pupils in school years 6 to 11, whether they attend Clares Court Schools or not. To apply, artists need to submit artwork in a variety of media, a letter of recommendation from their art teacher and an artist's statement. And now we pass you over to Adam Barney, interviewing Theresa May.
What has inspired you to be an MP?
Oh gosh, it's an interesting question. There was no single thing that suddenly inspired me to become an MP. I actually started becoming interested in being an MP when I was at school. I was interested in current affairs, and I think it was wanting to be part of the debate, but also crucially wanting to make a difference. Because obviously in politics, you can make quite a difference to people's lives.
And was there anyone at your school who helped you to go into affairs and government?
No, I'll tell you a story. At one of the schools I went to, the history teacher decided that he would set up a debating society. The school didn't have a debating society, so he called a few people. He knew I was interested, and there were a few other people who were interested. And we went one lunchtime into a room, and he'd got lots of subjects written on little bits of paper in a sort of hat, and he had to pull one out and stand up and say something. And when I pulled mine up, I couldn't think of a thing to say. So I was completely silent. So that probably wasn't the best beginning.
No.
And the debating society didn't get, that was the only meeting they had, I think. So,
yeah.
So there was nobody really who was kind of helping me.
Oh, right, okay.
What's the actual atmosphere like in the House of Commons?
Well, it varies according to what's actually happening inside. If we're talking about the chamber of the House of Commons, I mean, most people see it at Prime Minister's Questions, which, when it's pretty charged atmosphere, it's full, lots of noise, lots of sort of combative behaviour. Sometimes you'll get a debate or a subject being discussed when it's much calmer, fewer people in the House, and not such a charged atmosphere. So it can vary depending on the subject and the occasion.
What do you do on an average day as an MP?
There isn't, in a sense, there isn't an average day as an MP. There are certain sort of routines in Parliament. So each parliamentary day starts with an hour of questions to a particular department, and then we'll go into debates. So if you want to be, as a backbench MP, if you want to be in every day for those questions, you can be. You can timetable that. But really, MPs will very much sort of make their own job. Some will sit on committees, and so they'll have to be in those committees sometimes. Some will take part in debates, they'll meet constituents. Every day can be quite different.
Do you ever disagree with Mr Cameron?
Well, the good thing about David Cameron is that he's very open to have discussion about issues, and we do. So, in meetings, when you're talking about a particular policy development, he's very open to hear people's points of view and to discuss the different issues. But once we've agreed, as a government, that our position on a particular policy, then cabinet responsibility means we all stick with that.
What do you think of the coalition government?
Well, I think it's working well. I think because it's new, but new, it hasn't been done for I think 60 years, newish. So most people involved in politics today are not used to working in coalition government, but the civil service wasn't used to working with a coalition government. So everybody had to work pretty hard at the beginning to sort out how things were going to operate. But actually, we've worked pretty well together. I have a Liberal Democrat minister in my department. We work very well. If there's an issue which we approach perhaps from a different angle, we just sit down and talk about it and agree a position.
Have you got any new plans to improve town centre?
Well, I think this is one of the really big issues for Maidenhead. I was involved with the Advertiser and with the Civic Society some years ago in the work that led to the setting up of the prom group by the council, which has put a number of ideas together about what can happen in the town centre. I'm a great supporter of the waterway development, but I think the key thing is getting a better range of shops in the town centre. And obviously, there are some plans afoot at the moment, and I think this is one of the key issues for rejuvenating Maidenhead.
What impact do you think these plans will have on people in town?
Well, I hope that we can get a town centre developed that most people living in Maidenhead will feel they want to go and shop in. You know, an awful lot of people don't do their major shops in town centre these days. They might pop down for a few bits and pieces. But I'd like to see a thriving town centre where people feel they can go, where they can do most of their shopping, and with the waterway where they can perhaps, you know, enjoy a nice environment for a cup of coffee or a meal or a drink or something as well.
Have you got any free time?
Not a lot.
No.
If I'm honest, not a lot. No.
And when you do get your free time, what do you do with it?
Oh, excuse me. Well, the one thing I do try to make sure I have time for is going to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoy cooking. So I have a vast number of recipe books. So
Yes.
in sort of, if I can sort of do new recipes and things like that, I enjoy doing that. And my husband and I enjoy walking. So we do try and sort of do some walking from time to time.
Good. What do you like to make?
When I'm cooking, all sorts of things. I'll try all sorts of recipes. I do quite a lot of Italian sort of based recipes.
I like Italian.
You like Italian?
Italian's nice. Do you like sports?
Participating or watching?
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
Well, I don't I go to the gym and
Yes.
swim. And apart from that, I don't participate in any sports. But I do enjoy watching quite a lot of sport actually. I enjoy watching athletics, watching swimming, watching rowing.
Have you been watching the rugby on
I
the
do
weekends?
enjoy watching the rugby. Yes, it's been a bit hairy from time to time. The England-Italy match didn't start off too well.
No, it
But,
didn't.
I'm sorry, the only thing I would say about the England-Wales match is it was a try.
Well, two Welshmen at the back of me. It's like disagree, but
Controversial.
Now, I've noticed your shoes. Can you explain your thing for shoes, please?
Well, it's difficult to kind of give a description to it. I've just always been interested, always liked shoes, been interested in shoes. And of course it became quite well known a few years ago when the papers decided to focus on my shoes, and they still do to a certain extent. But I just enjoy it. You express a bit of personality
Yes.
through interesting shoes.
Okay.
Probably not allowed to wear interesting shoes at school.
No. Anyway. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well done.
Thank you.
And finally, the weather. Hello, I'm Harry, and I'm doing the BBC weather. Today, Scotland is experiencing a heatwave, and all the daffodils have arrived early. The Midlands is very, very cold, and shoppers in Birmingham have been spotted wearing huge woolly hats. The south of England is very warm, but we are experiencing slight showers here, 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 and a big cluster right there. Maidenhead is always sunny because that's where I live, and I always have a 100-mile radius of sunshine around myself. That's all. Good night.